feel like I'm looking fresh in the military with this green. It reminds me of my dad coming home from Camp Pendleton with a haircut, and it was green. You guys know nothing about me. My father was he was a pilot for the Marine Corps, and my mother was a nurse midwife. She was the head administrative nurse midwife for all the military bases in Southern California, San Diego County. And so I had two military officer parents. I was born on Camp Pendleton. This is coming through now as I age and progress in my spiritual life, because those genetics, training, discipline, are starting to come through. The month before my hunger strike, I was running on the beach one day. I started running on the beach with 5-pound hand weights. And we're talking like a 5-mile run on deep sand. So it's not easy with 5-pound weights. So much so that like Jesus, when I did it the first time, Jesus came out and is like, I gotta see this. So I'm psychically gritting, doing the DNA gritting, and running on the beach with 5-pound weights at the same time. That was where I was like, yeah, it's time to work. This doesn't look all nice, but it's fine. Anyway, during one of those runs, I saw this kid right outside the Army Navy Academy. And this kid had these pock marks on his back, like big suction cup red dots on his back. So I stopped and I asked him what it was. And he was saying it was something like suction cup treatments. And this kid said something about, yes, ma'am. It was the first time in my life I'd ever been called ma'am. It was the first time in my life anybody ever talked to me with any respect. Ever. I fell in love with that kid. The minute he did it, I was like, yeah, I'll be a dragon queen. Just to be talked to like that. Starve on a beach for whales to death. Nobody treated me with any respect like that. Zero. But the kid outside of Army Navy Academy, who was probably in the Army Navy Academy right on the Carlsbad Beach, we have a real problem with how treating women and elders, treating people with ancient knowledge. There is a giant lack of integrity or respect. Today, I walked to the park and I was psychically pinging, where is the win for my trip today? Like, where do I need to go where there's a ding ding win? And I was taken to a part of the park where they freshly cut down an ash tree. No reason. 0 is this gorgeous ash tree. One of the first ash trees I've ever seen. So much so that it was one of the first ash trees. One of the first ash trees to even engender my interest to learn what an ash tree was. There's another ash tree that was cut down at the back of the park next to where the Whole Foods entrance was also. That one looked like it had been damaged. But this one looked like it was cut down in vanity. That tree mattered more to this planet than every single human on it. And I can't help but wonder, what's going on? We're just cutting down trees because we want to? Because they're too green for us? That tree mattered more to everybody on this planet than the people do. And the reason why is that ash tree gave life. You can tell it's an ash tree because of the little black dots. If you see it next to my face. So where the little black things are, they're beautiful. Look at that, little black dots on the ash-colored bark. This will be made into 3 wands. It was roped off, this tree, and I broke the rope and collected the wand. And the fairies, I was horrified at, if you actually can feel, if you feel anything, when you cut down a tree, it feels like the Holocaust. And if you can't feel that, then you're gonna create a Holocaust. It feels like screaming fairies. It feels like animals that are just like, well, thanks for taking my home away from me. It feels like shit. You guys have no feelings. That's why you can't feel anything. That tree mattered more than every person alive. Like, what's wrong, royal family? It was too pretty for you? It was giving you too much oxygen that you can't handle it? Come on, Markle. I thought you were going to be a witch one day, Markle. You can't even save the tree in your own backyard. No, you just cancel out your own royalty so that you can jerk off. You don't get that matters more to your kids than your fucking delusional acting career? The shade that tree provided, the wisdom, the healing, the light that it anchors into the planet? No. Come on, princes and princesses. I'm like, Kate's too fucking dumb to even listen to me. But maybe Markle is just sassy enough to do it. The boys are too fucking dumb. You know how I know? My boyfriend went to school with them. And they can't get into Oxford and Cambridge. They're not smart enough to. But my boyfriend could. So someday I'll be teaching at Oxford and Cambridge, just so everybody knows. If it's not burnt to the ground. So, on another note, this is envy or jealousy. Man. So Simon's watching Think Like a Man, because now he's in Hode, right? He's just beginning Hode. And I'm trying to get him some of the light rom-coms. Yeah, I added Think Like a Man to the Hode list because, boy, it needs to be there. And Steve Harvey said really something funny. The man is not doing what you want because you have not required him to. So how do I require everyone to show up? What is it going to take for me to require it? And that's what God is going to give. So what is it going to take to require Elijah to show up? Is it that his head's going to end up on a spike if it doesn't? Or is it that his kid's going to stab him to death while he sleeps? Which one? Is it both? That tree that got cut down was Elijah Wood's fault. He could have provided a bridge and talked to the royal family before they ever fucking cut down. Man, does it suck to have QuickTime do a mic drop on you. As I was saying, that tree that got cut down was Elijah Wood's fault. He could have provided the bridge, talked to the royal family before they ever fucking cut down that tree. Because he's part of their crew. And he doesn't. So that's why I call him Kylo Ren and an evil demon. Because instead of showing up and actually doing anything of service or value for anybody, he's going to continue to produce D-level horror movies and jerk off to a fake wife. While his kids drown in a puddle of litter and demons because he never grew up. But he doesn't even care about that at all. Dying. This is a really big lesson on envy. So I'm walking down the street after I picked up litter in the Royal Gardens again today for free. It's not for free. It's usually at the cost of people's heads. Don't worry, the magic is there. If I have to pick up a cigarette butt, I'm taking your head. And if you guys think that it's not your problem, I'm taking your head. And if you guys think that I'm going to do all this work for free, I'm taking your head. Slave or see the lava? Do you not get it? You guys are either going to be of service to the planet or you're into the lava. So I'm picking up this litter so I can create sacred ground, so that I can produce a fairy blessed garden to do a sacred moon ceremony where my students can get metal bending grids if they, join into the harvest moon ceremony, because that's the magic for this year. The magic for last year was birthing into your dragonness. Cheers to how well that's playing out. So, I'm picking up this litter, and I can feel the portals begin to open. These fairies are like ready for Black Death. If any of you guys saw the Fantastic Beast movie, where like the repressed witch or wizard or whatever, they become super dark and super evil real fast. That's what the fairies looked like. They're just ready. It's scary. And the best thing I can do is just like get on the ground and be their slave and make sure that like they don't attack, behead me when they're like about to jump out. The point is this: we are all connected. We are all connected. If you guys think that you're gonna somehow be protected from the fairies because you're a victim, then of anything, of racism, of sexism, of ageism, of and like any fucking excuses you guys have in your fucking small brains, they don't care. It's Maleficent. She laughs. Maleficent laughs at your guys' excuses. Just imagine throwing some racist bullshit Maleficent's way. Maleficent's gonna go like, stupid fucking human, get out of my face. Get out of my face. As she then slaughters you. That's Netzach. You know how, I'm in Netzach and you guys aren't? Unless you are. It's because I know these things and you guys don't. You guys still think that love, the heart chakra, is somehow more important than Netzach. Instead of working from the ground up. And that leaves you guys in some deluded delusion land. You know why you guys choose to not believe or understand this? It's because you might have to do something instead of just pray. You might actually have to get dirty and pick up thousands of cigarette butts, thousands of them, instead of go, oh, that's other people's jobs. You know, every single time anybody's going to say that, it's an off with their head. Seriously. It doesn't matter what color you are. At all. That's other people's jobs. Off with the head. It doesn't even matter if you're a kid. Kinda. There's grace for the little ones. But it really matters that those little ones don't grow up into bigger ones and not have learned that lesson. Envy. So I'm walking back from the park, and on an apple, there's this label, be envy. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, don't don't be envious, be envy. See, the thing is, I'm not envious of any of you guys. If at the most I'm envious of like a talent here or a talent there. But you guys have such shit karma. Most of you guys are so full of yourselves, have so much broken DNA to get through. I'm not envious of anyone. I'm envious of like Mother Andromeda. Like, I'm envious of like God. At the worst. You guys, bleh. I could be homeless and starve to death, and I'm still not envious of any of you. And that's why envy is a sin and a vice. Period. Because what you guys see as attractive is deluded. It's a lie. You should be envious of the fairies. You should be envious of the people working on the biggest little farm. You should be envious of me getting into netsuck because I killed myself for whales. Or tried to. Do you understand? That's who you should be envious of. At the worst. You should not be envious of movie stars. You should not be envious of stupid spiritual teachers like Goodney creating a cult rape and not being of service to the planet. They don't even know how to clean. I know. I've been there. Much less do they know how to clean the DNA of anybody's bodies. So, envy. You don't envy people because they have money. You don't even envy somebody because of the way they look or the color of their skin. You don't envy. That's a sin. It's a sin. At the most, you envy a virtue or a talent. That's too much for anybody to handle. Let's say, I envy somebody because they're intelligent and can do symbolic logic. And then I go, how do I do it? And then I do it, and then it cancels out the envy. I envy somebody because they can draw. And I want to learn their talent, so I take a class and I do it myself. So then it cancels out the envy. But we don't have money. You don't have $10 to buy a Udemy program? Liars. You guys spend more money on junk food. You guys spend more money on coffee, junk food, and crap. It's all your guys' faults. Envy is a sin. Jealousy. What's the difference between jealousy and envy? Does anybody know? I had a really good definition once upon a time between jealousy and envy. Envy is like, I want something that somebody has because I don't have it. So I feel left behind and sad. Jealousy is wanting what somebody has, even if I do have it. That's just violence. That's just violent. It's like the Queen Elizabeth getting jealous at me because I get attention. Even if she's a queen. Even if she has more than me. That's jealousy. That's just violence. She doesn't even do anything with her attention. Sits like a lapdog on the fucking palace floor and rolls over. Man, 1 year with me and she'd actually look like a queen. She might even be able to say the same thing about me. It's gross. So, be envy. It was on that apple. Net sucks about creating appeal. You create appeal. You control people with it. That's the feminine power. Netzach. The more you're in Netzach, the more appeal you can create. And it's real. It's not diluted appeal. It's real. So, that ash tree had more appeal than the princes and princesses. That's an understatement. And I can't help but think they cut it down because they're jealous of a fucking tree. Kali Ren out.